listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to US Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings, we are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one, cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire, anti-black repressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country, the win, you need our energy. You gon' see? Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Because the white boys used her as cover to talk shit about me.
So it's just like, why do you think that she, like, do you think that's literally what it is? Like the fact that she's a black woman? Because I don't want to assume that, Tim Black is he's a guy that really cares about black issues. So I'm wondering if you think there's another dynamic at play here, or what do you think? Is this, more just misogyny? Like, what do you see?
So you're sitting there and you didn't see that she was getting set up? Like,
they were priming the pump. They were priming the pump.
They were priming the pump. Say that shit. So they sent your black. You are a mammy. Ooh. I'm calling you a mammy. So Tim, come at me, y'all. That's some mammy shit. First of all, listen, y'all, if y'all had something to say about Tim, y'all Negro squad of the Fred Hampton leftists should have got together and roasted Tim down as a group of black people. You don't run over to no white platform and sit around and start talking about what's wrong with the black community. What's wrong with the black community is fucking sedity ass black people like you who have a little education, look down on their nose and say bullshit like you know what's wrong with the black community. There ain't nothing wrong with our community that some money and some fucking therapy wouldn't fix. And we fighting for it. You're not fighting for our community to get better. You're looking down your nose at us in a white space. I would have had no problem if you would have said that bullshit with all the dumb black people from Fred Hampton leftists, because at least it would have been said in front of black people. It still would have been a problem, but this is so off code. You don't do this. And Sabby Stabs, you talking about, we saw how they asked you if you reached out to Reset Race, talking about, oh no, I haven't reached out to Boo Boo. You unfollowed me after we dragged your ass for that fucking reparations episode. You wasn't in it, but we dragged your crew and your ass fucking unfollowed me. So don't bother reaching out, Boo Boo. That time is done. Reach out to Sandy Darity, reach out to the professionals, the people who are actually fighting for those issues, because you don't need to talk to me. I'm a nobody like you. Talk to our professionals. That's who you need to talk to, so you can illuminate your audience. Because boo. But if you want to do a debate, I'll do a debate. But that fake shit, I'm gonna put that shit out there. Because if you wanted to have a conversation, you could have had a conversation after we blew y'all out the water. But none of y'all reached out. All of y'all called us haters. Even your ass called us haters. And look, black people, quit calling. If I call you out because you have shitty ass black politics, what the fuck am I hating on you for? You guys have been doing a podcast for 2 fucking seconds. You've had massive amounts of promotion and your numbers still are just what the fuck ever. And you're not what are you building? What are you building for black? You don't have black people following you. How can you speak for black people when black people ain't even riding with you?
No, that's the reverse is true, Sam. They're speaking for white people to black people. That's what's going on, right? This is not them speaking for
But
black
black
people in
people
white
don't watch
spaces. I know,
Black-
but the white people don't care. They just cover, right? So really quickly, this is for black folks. For black folks, we see what's going on. So I'm going to give you an explainer when you people watch this drama unfold, right? You know who people work for when there is conflict, right? Who do they side with in conflict? That's where you know who people work for because you know who signs their checks, right? Who are these people siding with, right? You see where Sabby is. Well, you see where all the Fred Hampton Lamptons are, right? Even though they're over there in a black space, they're doing a show for white people. They even lied on Cornel West to help to push this narrative that Tim is evil, right? So they betrayed a black man, one of the most honorable and kind black men in our political discourse, right? They lied on him. Sabby Sabs is getting primed here like a fucking siphoning a fucking gas tank, right? So, but us, not to say that we're all that. You see what Tim did? He's standing by himself on his own too, as a black man and a business owner. He answers to himself and his wolf pack. We answer to each other, right? You see, that's how black people can see how this translates, right? And as this drama unfolds, especially after this video goes out and little videos here and there that's going out, you'll see even further who's with us and who's against us. This is a cut the grass moment, as I like to call it. When you cut the grass, you can see all the snakes. She's a snake. Fred Hampton leftist, snakes. All the black people siding with this, snakes. All the black people telling Tim to be quiet, or telling him he's talking too much, or he's spending too much time on this, even though they accused him of being a grape threatener, somebody who threatened grape without the G. They accused him of being somebody who threatened grape on Bree Joy. The people siding with those people, even after the fact, snakes, each and every one of them. And what's that dude's name? Eclectic Progressive, whatever it is name, Chris, whatever the hell his name is, snake. Talk about you, my friend Tim. Let me tell you as a friend.
Yeah, but
no,
he's backing up. He never had nothing to say after we exposed the Fred Hampton leftists, though.
No,
we exposed they ass. He
didn't
have nothing to say. Like, oh, but black, yeah, nah. Quit, white people, listen. If regular black people are telling you that the people you like ain't it for black people, you don't get to tell us any different. We pick who fucking represents us, not you. Just guys been quiet, Mud's a little quiet.
Well, I think that I honestly think that her whole purpose is to give the white audience the okay to just dismiss Tim Black.
Yes,
that's her job. That's their job.
Yeah, and they don't want to lose the white leftists to us. Like, they don't want to lose them to us, because that's pretty much all they got. Like, this little pocket of white leftists and like some POC, tag along, whatever's. But if they lose that core, then what is the left? Because they sure don't have black people for real. Like, honestly. And even with the POCs, like, they don't really have them in significant numbers. I mean, it's really just these white people that, for the most part, I think they're either upper middle class or they really have some bread. And if these leftists lose that, and that money comes over to funding like our issues, things will drastically change in politics. So I think they're just like, all of them are just like trying to keep their audience where they're at, with riding for this mission of, we are going to do this race blind, universal program shit, and damn the black people that's been making all this noise about reparations and doing things specifically for them.
That's a fact. And there was There was a guy in our comments, in our video comments, said he says he worked for Bernie. And he says that's been the whole thing of this progressive left, was to do nothing for us and try to still corral us into their movement, and knowing they don't plan to do anything for us.
Oh, so you mean more benign neglect, like the Democrats always do? Come on, we see your game. We see your game. We're not falling for it. Either you're gonna build a real coalition, or this shit's gonna end.
But I'm just saying, before you go, MG, because you already know I need some wisdom from you, man. Because it's getting thick right now. I ain't gonna lie, it's getting thicker than a bowl of gravy. You heard me? Like, it's getting southern gravy with the sauces in it. Like, man. So it's like the whole thing is like, I feel like this whole thing though is Tim Black. How Tim Black always felt. He's chilled out. He chilled out for years. And we all knew, even when we disagreed with him with the forced to vote thing, even when, you know what I mean? Even the top ADOS, top blackity black knew he was the blackest person on the left. I always said this on every show, either I disagree with him, agree with him. I was like, he the blackest one they got over there. He the blackest one. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, we all know he felt like this, but now you feel me? It finally came out. He's like, yo, fuck that. Kalkalinsky on some bullshit. Sam Cedar on some bullshit. Jimmy Dore and his wife on some bullshit. The White People Party on some bullshit. Bree Joy on some bullshit. I didn't want to see that. But
Savvy Sam on some bullshit.
Everybody, he like, yo, Marshmallow Lefty on some. I'm like, yo, he getting at everybody. Lefties I didn't even know about. He like, yo, you eat a pickle man, shut the fuck up. I'm like, yo, Tim Black going crazy. But he had every right to go crazy, because as a black man in that space, to hold that kind of space for so long and not really bring your issues, like, and see the issues, because it's small. You know what I'm saying? It's macroaggressions. They keep coming. Or it's a dismissal. It's a certain type of racism that's not overt. It's very, if this is left, this is very, very subvert racism that we always felt. And it came out. And it's like, now he came out with that. He said that, so they try to ping him to be a misogynist and a big black brute. I literally seen some white dude on Twitter say, like, he's a big black man speaking aggressively and towards the. I'm like, yo, you know how many white boys is on Twitter? Jimmy Dore been going hammer lamb on everybody for years. The only reason he got Me Too was Anna finally just was like, yo, he looked at me funny. That's it. I see him come at everybody.
That was a get off my boss moment. That's what the fuck that was.
He looked at me. I'm like, yo, he coming at everybody. Say Tim Black was getting at the whole liberal, all the quote unquote neo libs, Joe Biden, the whole CDC. You feel me? The whole CDC, Maxine Waters, all of them. These are a bunch of black women too. They don't serve our interests or nothing like that. But he was like, I'm about to get in the CDC ass. Maxine Waters, you on some bullshit. Oh, I loved him. Oh my God. Yes. He was like, yo, Bree, because if him Bree, you on some bullshit. I think that you a white woman that don't know what the fuck is going on. I said, oh shit. He going off. That's it though. It was nothing sexual. It was nothing misogynistic. We slowed it down. We just like, this is what the left been doing. These black faces for the left been doing this type of shit for years. And all we just was like, yo, like everybody knew it. He just came on like, yo, you caught it in real time. Like, look, stop it right there. That's when they doing it. Stop right. Oh my God, see that? And now they scrambling trying to talk about like he's a big black man talking about Brie. When he got at Nick Brown talking about he lived with his daddy, and it's the White People Party. He was on Nick Brown. To me, I felt more scared for Nick Brown
and Jimmy. Nick Brown and Jimmy caught most of it. Yep.
It was going to be him. He's like, take my fucking shit off your fucking page. He was going crazy on Nick Brown. But Bree, he was like, no, you don't get a pass, Bree. You don't get a pass. Like, you've been doing this for years. Like, and you literally just said it in real time how you were picked by the white left.
What's the difference between going at this woman or going at Bree and going at Candace Owens? Is it wrong for me to say, Candace Owens, you don't speak for black people?
Yeah, Bree is a misinformation asset. That's why they're protecting her.
So keep going. I feel like you want to go. I feel like you want to go deeper. Keep going.
I do, but please don't take that as a rape thing, white people. It's not.
Great. Great.
Great without a G.
Great. But again, like I can go at Candace Owens all day and say this person is being used to distract away from actual Black issues, and they're just using this person's Black face to talk about the problems in the Black community. Ain't that what old girl just did just now?
Yep.
Oh, but the problems in the Black community, we don't respect people who are highly educated. Since when? When was this? Like I've been in Black communities my whole life, and I've never known this to be a dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
The only people who say things like that are people who don't grow up in Black communities. And then you get mad when people say you can't speak for Black people. Like you're sitting up there with Hanson, but hang out with your white leftists and leave my people and my politics alone. Because you are not the proper representation for that. You don't care. In the same way you don't care about my politics, I don't care about you and your universalist projects. You need to come over to where I am. Because I've been here since the end of slavery waiting on my reparations. Like if white people had power, if the white left had power, you wouldn't need to come get the Negroes, would you? So we really need to redefine this relationship. Who needs who for real?
Ooh, are you saying you're tired of being the ugly fat side chick? Like we have lost weight. We have gotten our mommy makeover. We got our makeup. We got our heels. We got our boobs up to the sky. And goddamn it, you are gonna treat us like a wife. All they do is fuck us, but they don't give us nothing. We are literally just side ass.
But they don't even come in our house, so they're not even fucking us.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They fuck
You
us
talking
all
about the left or the Democrats?
We go vote for them and they give us nothing. That's them fucking us.
Oh, we're talking Democrats. Yeah, Democrats. Yeah, I'm just saying.
The left just describes that. They're like, see? Like, you let the Terry bone. I know I look better than that.
She said that people have written her and told her she shouldn't talk to white people. Should not talk to white people. Why did she go on all these white platforms? And she got mad. She said, what? I'm married to a white man. What am I supposed to do? Separate myself from him too?
But that just seems totally wrong to me. And I really understand where you're coming from, where it's like, what do you mean that does not denigrate her status as a Black woman at all? Like, because she exists in professional spaces alongside her white counterparts. Isn't that what, I don't know. Personally, I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
There are some people who think that if you're Black and you're on the left and you're doing like independent, media, that they only want you to speak to Black people. They only want you to stay in that lane. They don't want you collaborating with other white commentators. I've had people send those messages to me too. And I'm like, dude, you do realize my husband is white, right? Do you want me to exile him too? Like, it's just stupid. So
savvy Sab. Now, Reset Race has had white people on our show damn near since like definitely within the first first 4 months. It was pretty early on.
Yep.
Pretty early on. We've had 3 white guests, and they've come on multiple times. No one has ever complained about a single one of our white guests being on our show. And yeah, you don't see them, but you hear their accents. You know they ain't Black people.
So
you know
why? So why, Sam?
Because they riding harder for Black people than you are. That's why. That's why. The people don't complain about the white people who come on our show, because the white people who come on our show are talking about how Black people need reparations and how this is a debt that is owed. John comes on our show and pulls up whole effing books talking about the Black struggle and everything that happened. Like, our white people who come on our show are legit. When my girl Edie comes on this show, she's on here being passionate. If she doesn't know something, she's here to listen. If she got something to add, she adds it. Nobody has ever complained about the white people on my show. The only pushback I ever got is because I be caping for poor whites because I want to save the whole country. That's the only thing I get pushback on, and that's not even from all Black people. It's from a very small, particular sect who are tired and frustrated and fed up and want to be like, fuck you people. But me, I still have my poor God sisters, and I would like to see their little white blue-eyed babies grow up to have a much better life. I don't want them to end up getting strung out on meth and spending a decade of their lives as drug addicts. I don't want that world for them. I want them to have the best fucking opportunities that are available. And these are white children. So for all of y'all, like, you just hate white people, you just hate the left. No, I care about poor people. You don't. If you cared about poor people, you would be paying attention to the policies. Start actually making them show you how this will adjust the wealth gap. And for us, and if it's not for us, for poor whites, make them show you how much money this is actually going to add to their wealth. That's the wealth gap too. We have our racial wealth gap, but y'all got y'all bullshit. So start actually focusing on making them push a federal jobs guarantee and $25 an hour put together should be at the bare minimum what you guys are pushing. I'm sorry, Medicare for all is cool and I'm with it, but that's not a winner by itself. Jobs and money is a winner. People are used to being sick and broke. The only people who are really upset about the Medicare stuff is white people because you guys are going bankrupt. Like Mud and all the rest of us say, we broke, we just don't pay the shit. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna take? You don't own shit. Like John said, his mom never owned a home. Like, what were they gonna take? Never owned a home or a car. What was they gonna take? They gonna come and take her dishes? Like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Nah, they just sentence you to another generation in the ghetto.
That's automatic.
Why you want to make it more real? Like, why you want to? Come on, why? Just talk about how much that was real, but you made it more real. Somebody please save me.
Mud, you got anything?
Nah, I just think that, yeah, I mean, we are tired. We're tired of all the games that are being played by everybody. And I think that, there is a segment of white America and like just everybody is tired of the bullshit. We're tired of the distractions. If you really want to do this shit, you need to figure out a plan and really articulate the shit. Like, why is it that their plans are always so vague and they complain about the culture war stuff, but they spend so much time talking about culture war stuff? Like I know this is about Tim Black and all that, but this is just a general statement about my frustrations with the left. They don't really focus on policy, like Sam was saying. Like, if we could actually talk about these things, and even with the reparations thing, they should really take it seriously. And they avoid Dr. Darity, they avoid anybody that's serious about this topic. They just want to talk in vague ways about something they haven't even thought seriously about. And most of the policies that they propose, they don't actually think seriously about it. They just think, well, I want people to have free healthcare because I think that's a good thing. Well, how exactly do we do that? You need to be able to articulate these things. And even with the reparations movement, everybody that's been a part of it has kind of did the research and kind of looked into these things and saw Dr. Darity's work, saw Thomas Kramer's work, saw a bunch of people's work in this area, and they took it and they tried to package it in a way to where we can actually get this message out here, and we've been effective. I could never take the left seriously because they didn't take themselves seriously.
Yeah, Mud brings up some good points. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, so this isn't the video we did, but I just kind of wanted to play it. But the end piece is, and then it has the part with Nick, and then from there it picks up where Doc, because I just wanted to show what our allies sound like, the white people who come on our show, and why, so you'll understand why we don't get complaints. But I love taking the time to drag the Fred Hampton leftist, especially since Savvy Sabs was out here disrespecting black men. So let me come out here and slap around her men.
There's going to be a school of thought that some people of ADOS is going to disagree with me on, but I'm going to try to explain my position. Now, there are some who say, we've been told countless times for years to wait. And so you have some who have the thought that we better get our reparations first before anything else. before we get universal health care, before we get tuition-free public college, before we get a Green New Deal, before we get anything else, it is, the thought that we should have reparations first. As someone who does feel as strongly as I do about reparations, to me, it's not about whether we should or shouldn't. We definitely should, but it's about the order in how we get it. What do I mean by this? Reparations is great, but what good is reparations when that money gets absorbed by student loan debt? What good is reparations if it's absorbed by medical debt? What good is reparations if it's absorbed by greedy capitalistic landlords that know that you got a check and now they're going to exponentially raise your rent? My thing is I want reparations to be safeguarded. Reparations is supposed to be an equalizing and a repair of wealth inequality between Black people and white people in this nation. So if that's the case, then that means reparations should be a disposable income for Black people. Reparations is supposed to be wealth that we have yet to accumulate and is being given to us. So that being said, how do we safeguard against this? Unfortunately, to some members of ADOS, they're not going to like me hearing me say this, but things like universal health care, universal tuition-free public college, tuition-free public college, green infrastructure, all these universal programs have to be implemented first, not because we want to have to wait, but because these greedy capitalists, as soon as they see that we get a reparations check, it is gone. We won't have it anymore because we don't have these safeguards in place. So if we have tuition-free public college and if everyone's college debt is cleared, that's money that your reparations does not have to go towards. If we have housing for all, and we have, let's say, just hypothetically, we had a nationalized rent control,
let him talk.
then they won't be able to swipe your reparations money from under you so quickly because, you need a place to live. And then on top of it, you have, we need a planet to live on. And so there's so many different things, excuse me, that could undermine us getting reparations, and we'll end up back in the same place that we were before. Now, if there's any counter arguments, I'm definitely willing to hear from them. But to me, it's about the order in which you get them, because I don't want the reparations to be taken away like that and us end up back in the same position. So this is one of the things why I want reparations to be safeguarded. And I think we should do the universal programs and the reparations.
I'm gonna let him finish because he's gonna say simultaneously. But see how they say a bunch of bullshit, and at the end they be like, then we should do them simultaneously. So you ignore all the bullshit they said before, but it was internalized in your soul, and they let you know that it's okay that you don't want to do it for Black people first. When the Black people who are leading movements in this country from all of the groups are saying reparations first. Outside of them boule Negroes, outside of, come on. So y'all put, but let's not do a whole thing. But if anybody wants to give a little piece, because there's more, but the rest of it we saw. This part we didn't do. But it's gotta be short. It can't be super long, y'all. Josiah, you want a piece? You want a piece, Josiah? Because you missed this. You want a piece?
Just a little bit, right?
You want a nibble?
If y'all wouldn't mind me
easy.
Y'all wouldn't mind me quoting Brianna Joy Gray here.
Please.
Because apparently building affordable housing absolutely does good, even if folks are discriminated against. Because in one scenario, they are homeless, while in another, at least some of them have homes. Of course, discrimination is awful, but doing nothing until racism is cured is absurd. And this is Breonna Joy Gray's response to Nicole Hannah Jones about affordable
Screenshot that
housing.
and send that to me, please, so we can put it up for the people.
I got you 100%. But like, yeah, they understand this concept just fine. They're just trying to trade our trauma and issues for white leftist projects. That's all that is.
I just wanted to put it out there because I wanted Josiah to be able to get a piece because he missed the fire. He missed the roast. So I wanted to be able to get a little piece.
My paycheck is going to go to the capitalists.
Every 2 weeks, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yo, man, no, don't do that.
Simultaneously, so that people who get them, aren't they have that wealth that they can keep and pass down. That's the best way I can explain it.
Issues are still going to be there. They're not going away. I'm not a black capitalist, so I don't just want a check. I want the conditions materially for everyone to be improved. Then we can get reparations. And I know that there are people who argue we're always putting black issues on the back burner. The number one black issue to me is the climate, because we can't live on a planet that is uninhabitable to humans. So that's the first thing we got to address. Then we, like JB said, we need universal health care. We need a living wage for everyone. And here's my thing, like, we do all of these social programs and then we get reparations, we'll be in a way better place, because as he just said, we get the reparations first. We're just basically breaking even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's my take on it. Anybody got something to say?
I got something I can add that boosts that backs both your points up, Jackie, because you can get a capitalist to support reparations. Tom Steyer is an example. There's plenty of capitalists that came out for reparations. They do that because they know they're going to get the money back. So black people hold the most medical debt. We hold a substantial amount of medical debt. About 33% of the population has medical debt. So if you pass reparations without having Medicare for all or a nationalized healthcare system, or without canceling student loan debt, you essentially just took black suffering and oppression and wrote a check to Big Pharma. If you do it without taking out our prison industrial complex, you pretty much going to get write a check to black Americans that they take back via civil asset forfeiture and regressive fees. So I don't want my reparations to go back to the same system of white supremacy I'm fighting against. So we should fight for and advocate for reparations, but we got to do it in a very class conscious way. We can't allow the capitalists to ruin this. We already seen examples of I remember they had an area that just passed reparations, and it was implemented in a very capitalist way. So landlords are gonna benefit a lot, as our system is right now. They're gonna benefit. Wall Street gonna benefit. The prison industrial complex gonna benefit. The big pharma that charges a ton for prescription drugs and through medical debt, they're gonna prop up a ton. I want us to keep our money. I want our money to go to our community. And by having the leftist policies that we support via, like I said, I'm a big sponsor of UBI, like Jackie's saying as well, because we have the money to do this stuff. Mm-hmm. We should have UBI reparations, Medicare for all, living well. We should have all this stuff because we gave billionaires trillions of dollars. So I don't want to hear the argument that we don't have the money. So that's where our mindset comes from. The people who are not nuanced, like, oh, I can't believe you guys coming out against reparations. No, we're not. Reparations are something that you should fight for. But you got to understand that we can't allow our money to go right back to the capitalist hands that are responsible for our oppression. That's what I'm advocating for. And also, one more thing I wanted to bring up to back your point up, Jackie, because you were talking about generational wealth. You mentioned that earlier on. I wanted to share this just to highlight the issue that you brought up. They were shared on Twitter a few days ago, but 1 in 5 Black Americans are experiencing poverty for the 3rd generation in a row. Is it sharing? I don't know if it is. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't click the last button. Okay, I caught myself. Okay, so here it is. 1 in 5 Black Americans are experiencing poverty for the 3rd generation in a row, compared to just 1 in 100 white Americans. Late to this, but this is a study of remarkable grim look at economic mobility. And this is John. This is exactly going over the generational wealth that even a lot of poor white people benefit from. So it's not the same level. And once again, I stand in solidarity with anyone who in this class struggle. But if you don't have any generational wealth, like a lot of Black Americans, because of the new Jim Crow, because of the racist institutional capitalist system we live under, this is why we need reparations. So I just want to add those two, because I think that backed up what you said perfectly.
Well, the Fred Hampton leftists said that they want to be the next Cornel West and Richard Wolff, but you guys just aren't smart enough. I don't really think anybody in your ranks is smart enough to do that. There might be one person that I could see be smart enough to do it. The rest of y'all ain't got a chance. Doc actually has an answer for them. So let's let it play, okay? Keep going.
Well, you know, Fred Hampton said it wasn't black capitalism, it's socialism. He said there's a difference. And to what John was talking about, you know, I have a different idea about socialism than what Americans think about socialism. I think that socialism is a system, socioeconomic system that's devised for the benefit of the society, where capitalism is a system that's devised for the benefit of capital. And I say that, you know, in order to be a socialist in this country, you gotta be opposed to capitalism, because capitalism only benefits a certain group of people, whereas socialism benefits the society. Now, if you take that perspective on socialism versus what Americans talk about when they talk about socialism, even what actual socialists talk about, who are talking about, you know, we need to abolish capitalism and give the workers control and everything like that. When you devise a system that is for the benefit of society, that necessarily includes something like reparations. That has to include something like reparations, because if you consider the fact that, you know, black people represent 13% of our society, and if we leave them out of the equation, then we're not doing for the whole society. You know, so in order to speak to John here, you actually have to pay those reparations as part of that. And then we talk about how the whole society, blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, whatever, how we all move together, you know, how we all move forward together. But we can't have those discussions until we, like I say, pay the dues that we're owed, that we owe to the people that we owe them to, and get everybody straight, everybody square. And at that point, then we can talk about, you know, whether or not we need to nationalize the labor force. I think we need to nationalize the labor force. We need to make it so that, you know, my ability to live, my ability to eat, my ability to raise my kids up right isn't dependent on some capitalist, you know, need to make profit. But we can't even get to that point until we do the prior work first and actually get all these debts that we owe settled. And so I agree a lot with John. The socialists in this country don't want to talk about that. And I think it's because they're tied to Marx, to Karl Marx. And Karl Marx will say some kind of nonsense like any kind of racial discussion we have in the country is just a tool of capitalism, or any kind of moral or ethical discussion we have in the country is just capitalism dividing people. But we can't do that. I don't see it like that. I see socialism as a system that benefits and works for the benefit and the interest of all the people in society. And like I said, we can't do that without even something like reparations.
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put it back on the grill again, we grilling them. Back on the grill again, we grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to US Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings, we are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one, cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire, anti-black, we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country, the win, you need our energy. You gon' see? Listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Back on the grill again, we grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Hey, this is MG from Reset Race. We're growing and so is our mission. Because of this, we're looking for volunteers to join our team. The skills we need most right now are researchers, video editors, and men and women to do voiceovers. If you're interested in helping out, go to actifypress.com/volunteer. Again, actifypress.com/volunteer. We hope to hear from you soon. Peace and justice from myself and the rest of the Reset Race crew.